Sri Lanka is a long-standing partner of Russia in the South Asia. Ever since our countries established diplomatic relationship in 1957, this relations was based on the principles of equality, trust, and taking into account each other's interests. We were gratified to state the increasing intensity of Sri Lankan-Russian political dialogue on different levels, including the highest ones. We have taken stock of the progress made to the date and the follow-up of arrangements made between the heads of our states during President of Sri Lanka's visit to Moscow in March of 2017. For instance, we have agreed to pay extra efforts to boost the trade from the current $400 million to the $700 million. As the next meeting of the Intergovernmental Commission on Trade and Economic and Scientific and Technical Cooperation is being prepared, special attention will be paid to these items on the agenda. This meeting will take place in Russia in the second half of this year. We are enjoying a great relationship between our countries and between our defense ministries, between the law enforcement agencies, and we have an extensive legal framework for this cooperation between us. We have also agreed to give a follow-up to a set of measures, including the specific use of nuclear energy, customs affairs, and other issues. We have also focused on tourism, and we are grateful for our Sri Lankan partners for the extensive attention that they pay to ensuring security of our citizens who spend their vacations here. The number of Russian tourists coming to Sri Lanka grows on a sustained basis, and to a great extent it is thanks to the fact that about a year ago Aeroflot, our Russian airlines, have resumed the direct air passenger traffic to this country. Our foreign ministries are in close contact, and they base their work on the mechanism of political consultations in effect starting the year 2000. Our approaches to many global affairs enjoy proximity or coincide. This is true for such things as respect of international law, Charter of the United Nations, and the central role of the United Nations itself. We are thankful for our Sri Lankan partners for their support of the initiatives that we promote in the United Nations General Assembly, namely the initiatives of no glorification of Nazism, prevention of arms race in space, information security, prevention of cybercrime, and arms control and non-proliferation. Our delegations are comparing their notes and coordinating closely their efforts in UNESCO, in the United Nations Human Rights Council, in the OPCW. We also have agreed to coordinate our efforts in the preparation to events to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the victory in the Second World War. One other thing makes Russia and Sri Lanka similar is that we push for greater democratization of interstate relations with respect to civilizational and cultural diversity of the world. In this context, such associations as BRICS and the SCO have an important role to play, and Russia presides over both this year. Sri Lanka is a dialogue partner in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and today we have reaffirmed our interest in its more engaged and more proactive participation in its operations. We will also strengthen our cooperation through the non-aligned movement. Russia is an observer with the movement, and Sri Lanka is one of the founding fathers of it. Today we paid extra attention to revitalizing counterterrorism efforts. We expressed our support of Sri Lankan leadership as it tries to identify and hold accountable the masterminds of horrible attacks that took place April last year. My colleague briefed me extensively on the efforts that were put together by President Rajapaksa to bring the situation in the country back to normal in strict compliance with the Constitution and respect to the national accord, and we fully support those measures.